What is up, you beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of the Upper 90 YouTube soccer channel. In today's video, we will be talking about Chelsea versus Watford, talking about Timo Werner possibly leaving the club, along with us going against West Ham this weekend. So stick around as we dive deeper into all three topics. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Mike. Obviously a huge Chelsea fan, which is why we're always talking about the best club in Europe and also the best club in London. Now, it is December, which means we have a lot of games coming up, which means there's going to be a lot more videos coming out where I'm going to try to keep up with all these matches, but sometimes it gets a little difficult. Today, though, we're going to do a 3-for-1 type deal. Now, if you are new to this channel, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that. Now, without further ado, let's get into our three topics. So the first one is with Watford. Now, Chelsea played Watford last night, and boy, oh boy, was this just a very different, wacky, interesting game that we saw.
And now, here they are, the most daredevil group of daffy drivers to ever whirl their wheels in the wacky races.
Now, this game took place last night. Watford being a team that right now are in 17th place in the Premier League, where Chelsea are top of the table. You were thinking this would be a fairly easy game for Chelsea, but in December, anything can really happen for Chelsea in particular, and this was a game that really could have went either way. Now, Chelsea have had a lot of injuries as of lately, which made a huge difference for our squad. Now, as we saw, different players did start in this match. Some of those players being Saul, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Azpilicueta taking the spot for Reece James. I think some of those changes did make a huge difference to the way that Chelsea did play in this match, but overall, we were able to grind this game out. Yes, there were a few errors that did lead to some goals. Ruben Loftus-Cheek getting pickpocketed in the middle of the pitch by Sissoko of all players and going down, and then Dennis scoring that goal. Luckily, Chelsea were able to come back, score a goal from Ziyech, who definitely has been pulling this team further along than we were expecting. I think he's not getting the credit he deserves, but he's definitely been playing very, very well as of lately. And again, I think he'll probably start this weekend against West Ham. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in this video. Now, along those lines with the Watford game, one of the big things that did come up, Chalobah did go off with, it seems like, a hamstring injury, and it seems like we are just getting hit back and forth with injuries each and every game that we play. Now, luckily, it seems like a few of our players will be back for this upcoming weekend, but it's always hard to say who will be match fit for that game. And right now, we are really lacking in our defenders, so this could be a huge issue for Chelsea because we have so many games coming up in December along with Champions League, so I'll be really curious to see what Thomas Tuchel does with our squad. Now, on to topic 2 is Timo Werner, and talking about him. If you haven't seen the news, there's been some rumors, some German reporters saying that Timo Werner may be on his way out to Chelsea and going on to Manchester United due to the fact that their new manager, Ralf Rangnick, will be managing Manchester United. Now, if you don't recall, he did manage Timo Werner at RB Leipzig, and this could be a huge pairing for the two players, or manager and player. The reason why I hope this does not happen is because we've seen so many Chelsea players not do that great. I don't think Timo Werner's been not doing great. I don't think he's doing bad, but he could be doing better. But we've seen so many players leave Chelsea to go on to play other clubs in the Premier League, and all of a sudden their stock just completely rises up, and people are wondering, why didn't Chelsea keep them? Timo Werner could definitely be one of those players that if he leaves this club and goes to, say, Manchester United, that could be huge for not only him but also Manchester United, because what that will do, that will give them a player that is very fast, pacey, can pressure a lot, and take some pressure off Ronaldo, who can sit up top then. Think about it, Timo Werner's going around like the Energizer Bunny. Ronaldo doesn't really have to do too much and can start banging more goals and not worrying about dropping back. And that could be huge for Manchester United. Now, Timo Werner obviously has been dealing with some injuries, so that's always on the back burner with him ever going to another club that teams will have to worry about. But hopefully that does not happen. I really do like Timo Werner. I hope he stays at Chelsea. If he were to leave, I hope that he would maybe go back to, say, the Bundesliga or, a different league, so that way we don't have to worry about facing him, because, again, I would worry about his pace and how fast he is that he could definitely burn us if we ever had to go against him. As of right now, though, these are only rumors, so hopefully, like I said, Timo Werner stays at Chelsea. He seems to be happy with the club. Thomas Tuchel still praises this player, so hopefully, again, he will stay. And then our third topic, we have West Ham United coming up this weekend. Now, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, this will be a London derby. West Ham, though, have been struggling as of lately. They did draw yesterday against Brighton. They seem to be dropping points just over and over now, and they are actually slowly dropping on the table. Arsenal are tied with them, and Arsenal does play today, so they go past them and take on the 4th position in the table. And this is really setting up for West Ham to come out and just start punching against us and looking a lot better than what they should be, because they need to start getting points again to keep up in the top 4 and hopefully play in Europa again or possibly the Champions League next season if they would really want to keep going at the pace that they've been doing. Now, as we've seen, they can keep up with big teams like Liverpool. They ended up beating before the international break. Chelsea, again, is one of those teams that could definitely lose to West Ham. So I'm a little worried about this game going into it, especially because, again, with our injuries. Now, like I said, some of the players that were injured for this last game against Watford might be actually healthy for this game. 2 of those players being Jorginho, which, again, will be massive for us in our midfield because I think we definitely need him. We obviously need Kovacic or Conte, but again, those 2 guys are still hurt. But also Timo Werner should be healthy. So again, I think that will help with our attacking thirds because again, that gives us another pacey player out on the wing that can really put a lot of pressure on West Ham. Now, that being said though, like I mentioned earlier in this video, we are suffering with a few defensive injuries. Reece James, Chalobah, and Ben Chilwell are all out right now. So that will make things very interesting. So we'll probably start Marcus Alonso on the left wing, Rudiger, Thiago Silva, and most likely Christensen with Azpilicueta as our right wing back. But again, that puts us pretty thin in the back line. If anything were to happen to any of those players, we are going to be in trouble. And West Ham are not a very fun team or an easy team to play against. They are very physical. They have some big players, and this could be a game where we may pick up another injury, and that could be massive for Chelsea for December because like I said, we have so many games coming up in this month that if we start losing more and more key players and more players aren't able to play a full match, it's going to be very difficult for Chelsea to keep up with the pace they've been doing along with even just winning games, and therefore Thomas Tuchel will definitely have his work cut out for him. So I'm very curious to see what happens in the next couple of weeks. I will do my best to keep up with all the videos. Again, it gets very challenging to make all these videos when there's so many games because again, Chelsea do play this Saturday. So again, against West Ham, be a great game. Looking forward to it. I'm predicting that Chelsea will win this game though. I think they're going to win 3-1. I think they will let up a goal. I think Mendy should do all right, but I could definitely see West Ham still scoring a goal. So that is all I have for you today. Like I mentioned earlier, if you have not, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you have not. I greatly appreciate that. Helps grow this channel, helps get this video to more and more fans. That is it, and I will see you next time.